Hello and welcome to the Big Arsenal Discussion. I'm your host Giles, and with me today I have regulars Amanda from the Gooner Girls podcast, Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV, and FK from Berkham Wonderland. Alright, so recently Wenger came out in the press and he was asked, I suppose, does he think that he could win the title by the end of his contract in 2017? A lot of people will tell you that will give their opinion that he can't. But going by form and how we're performing this season, and the fact that he doesn't utilise all the money available to him effectively, we can't do it. I want to ask you guys, what do you think? Are we capable? Is he capable of winning us the title by 2017? We'll start with you, FK. What's your thoughts?
Well, when the statement was made, I wasn't surprised. I think a lot of people blew it out of proportion. Oh, Arsene Wenger saying he wants to win the league. Well, I bet you bottom dollar before the start of every season, I think whether he thinks it's a realistic achievement or not, he wants to win the league. Arsenal are set up; they want to win the league. That's fine. Can he? Yes. Will he? Unlikely. I think because we're quite far off the other clubs, they're only going to get stronger. We always seem to be one or two behind, but we actually bring in 3 or 4 every year, and the other teams bring in 3 or 4 as well. And when you look at the likes of Chelsea, the competition stemming throughout the team, from goalkeeper to centre forwards, the depth is phenomenal. I think we're a bit behind. We're hugely unfortunate with injuries. Chelsea just don't seem to get them, which is hugely frustrating. But that's something that we're aware of, and actually, if you know that injuries are going to be inevitable at Arsenal, you need to strengthen the squad to make sure that you cover for what's going to happen and what's happened to us for years. And in terms of his ability, Arsene Wenger's a smart man. He knows what it takes to win the league. He's done it before. He's proved it before. He is still one of the best managers in the game, so he absolutely can win it. But will he? I think as things stand at the moment, it's very unlikely, because the 2 stronger teams, the City and the Chelseas, they've just got 2 stronger squads for me, and they're only going to get stronger.
Amanda?
I don't really need to say more. Exactly what. Can he? Of course he can. Will he? No, not in my view. But I agree. I think the money issue with the City and the Chelsea.
Do you think, though, before I come to you, Robbie, do you think, though, with the FFP coming in and Chelsea restricting their transfer fees, I think this last window they came out, I think there was a net spend. I think they sort of made money or something, or broke even or something. City also were restricted in how they spent the money. Do you think now, within the next 2 years, with that being in place, with City having to become self-sustainable, Wenger and Arsenal can close the gap in terms of the amount of money that we can spend and build a squad that's capable of winning the title? Go ahead, and I'll come to Robbie next.
The problem I find with that is it's all well and good, the FFP, if they bring it in, but City will get round it somehow. The accountants, it'll all get round, trust me. But it's still irrelevant to the fact that he doesn't go out and buy. So if this comes in and it's restricted to the oil money and the Russian money, whatever money, he still doesn't go out. Our manager still doesn't go out and buy what we need. So what's the difference? Forget any of that. If FFP wasn't there, would we still be... We're sitting here going, right, well, FFP comes in, we could start to compete. But he still doesn't buy what we need. So explain to me what the difference is when that comes in. DM, centre half, how many times have we said it,
He could win the title by then, only if he fixes the problems that Arsenal have. He has to fix our defensive problems. You're not going to win the title. The way we defend, you've got no chance of winning the title. So that would be priority number 1, is fixing how the team defends and bringing in the right personnel in defence. And if he then added a couple of quality players to that team, like a world-class midfielder, somebody in the ilk of a Paul Pogba or somebody like that, if you've got the personnel, you can win the title. But at the moment, we're still short, and I agree with Amanda in that he always seems to drop short of
what we need.
Buying those players. I don't think money's no longer an excuse. We've seen that if you want to get the real quality players in, you're going to have to spend the money. Alexis Sanchez 35 million, is that not money well spent? Every last penny of that money is well spent. And if you want these calibre of players, you've got to spend the money. And I think we have got the money now. So he's got to fix the team defensively. Fix it, and I'm talking like from like the holding midfielder player, and getting that back four and getting the team organised defensively. And I think with a couple of world top quality players added to that team, yeah, he could. He's got the know-how to win a title. He's a manager that could make a team, go on a long run without getting beaten. But at the moment, our problems are all in how we defend games, and you're not going to win a league if you can't defend. Simple as that.
Do you think also that we need to start looking at the attack? I mean, Giroud's 28, he's going to be 30. I suppose he'll still be in his prime, but do you see Giroud being the kind of striker that we need to score us the goals, or even Welbeck? Do you think Welbeck will have developed? Do you see him on an upward trajectory in terms of becoming and developing into that sort of top class Premier League striker that we all hope and we all want, we all need? I think if you look at the other teams, even if they don't score 20 goals, you know that you'd want to have Aguero in your team.
But goals are coming everywhere with us, aren't they? I mean, if Ramsey's got 3 and 2 now, and Sanchez and Giroud and Welbeck, I don't think that's my main issue. My main issue is shoring up this defence and buying someone to protect. What we'd kill for a Vieira or a Petit or a Gilberto or that sort of player that can just, we're so great up top. Most of the time we're so poor at the back. It's like two worlds, that are colliding. And Robbie's right. We're never, ever, ever going to have a chance of winning the league if he does not deal with this defending issue. And we can all see it. He's not that stupid that he can't see it. We talk about Debuchy being out. It's a massive thing when he got injured for so long. And yes, I don't think Bellerin's ready. Chambers, I love Chambers, so it's hard to talk about. We say the same things on all our podcasts. We say the same things on here. It's an issue. We'll go back to the FFP. If he buys, we can compete. We can compete because we've got a great squad, but he needs the additions. I get frustrated.
FK, do you want to?
Yeah, I mean, look, United have wanted defenders for a while. Chelsea wanted defenders for a while. We've obviously gone out into the market and tried to get defenders. Arsene Wenger's obviously after a certain calibre of defender, and if he feels that there's just not value out there, then that's his decision. And obviously, he has to live and die by the decisions that he makes. I think there is a separate issue actually with regards to defence and attack, and I think we were talking about it before we started recording that. In the days when we were hugely successful, we had forwards who could almost win a game single-handedly, irrespective of what was going on at the back. And when I look at Giroud, when I look at Podolski, when I look at Welbeck, I don't see ruthless, clinical, world-class centre-forwards. I see that in Sanchez, but he uses him out wide, sometimes up top. I think there can be a case to be made, actually, if you can't find the defensive midfielder you need, if you can't find the centre-backs that you need, there are lots of good forwards out there, and I think we lack that ruthless, that Diego Costa, that absolute monster.
You're talking about Henry days, aren't you? And Henry would.
That's it, the killer instinct. You spell meat. You get opponents on the ropes. You've got to finish them off. I think we've been wasteful in front of goal this year. We're not scoring as many goals as we can. Variety in our play could be improvised as well. I mean, it's always looking for the perfect goal, the left to right, the right to left, looking for the movement just in behind the defence. Set pieces. We have. I think
160. You said earlier.
We're within the top 4, ironically, of the most corners in the Premier League, and actually in all competitions this year, over 160 corners haven't cleared the first man.
It's an incredible stat.
When you think about whether you've got Cavani, Costa or Van Persie in your box, if your set pieces and your balls being delivered in from free kicks aren't going into the right areas, you're never going to score goals. So, as they say, to state the obvious, goals win games. If you conceded 1 or 2, at least you've got the firepower up top to go and get 3 or 4. A bit like United at the minute. They've got that. In Van Persie, Rooney and Di Maria, they've got players that can win games, smash and grab at Southampton, against us at Arsenal. We won, but we just couldn't finish. if you've got that predator in the box, we're probably winning that game. So for me, yeah, I think you can cover for inadequacies by strengthening elsewhere, but you have to find the right balance.
Robbie, what did you say to that? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, there's a lot of truth in that, but I still kind of go back to the defence.
Me and Rob agree.
Because I just think there's always, even though yes, there's an element that they're not Giroud is not Aguero, Welbeck's not a Suarez or nobody like that, but there's lots of goals up top. They all chip in with goals. You've got goals that can come from
that's what I'm just saying.
Sanchez, like you said, when Walcott comes back, we'll get goals, right? But there's no point in scoring 2 goals and then or 3 goals like we did against Anderlecht, and then you concede 3.
Yeah, but Robert, what he's saying
agrees with you guys that defence is the case.
No. But I actually think that the priority, right, needs to be I know what you're saying, that back in the day we would have scored more than the others. I think football's changed a bit. Teams now have learnt to catch teams on the counter-attack. Counter-attack is a major part of football now, and if you go forward and you lose the ball, you're in trouble. If you haven't got the defenders to cope with it, you're in big trouble. And that's why I really think that Arsenal, I looked at Atletico Madrid last year, and whilst they did have good forward players, but their real strength was in defence. Chelsea teams of years gone, recent times, it's sort of they have had good striking players, but they're so hard to beat. You know what I mean? Even when they're not playing well, it's going to be a draw. You're not going to get past them, and that's the problem with us. We're too vulnerable at the back. We're not going to win a title if you're going to, be like I've seen it already this season, like against Swansea. And we put in a performance like that where we've worked hard and we've got that goal. We're 1-0 ahead, and then we concede 2 just from sloppy defending. If that's not sorted out, no chance of winning any titles.
Okay, all right. Let's put it to you, the listener and the watcher. What do you think? Do you think that it's just the defence or the defence is the major priority to get right, for Wenger to get right within the next 2 years, or would you say also added to that we need to get a killer, a predator up front? Leave us your comments in the box below. I would like to say thank you for joining us over this 5 episodes this year, and we want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a very happy Gooner New Year. I am Giles from the Big Arsenal Discussion, wishing you a happy Christmas and a happy New Year. I want to ask you, Amanda, how have you found it this year?
Well, it's been interesting. I've liked meeting all the guests, being with you regularly as well. I'd like to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and a Happy Hanukkah as well. And I'd like to say I appreciate all your comments, all the good ones, all the bad ones. I read some of them. And all of them, and I like the way that how can I put this? I appreciate that people have opinions, and some don't agree with me and some do, and that's the beauty of football. But I've really enjoyed it, and hopefully we'll continue in the new year.
Really enjoyed it as well. Really enjoyed doing these Big Arsenal discussions. Enjoyed my clashes with Amanda, trust me. And you should see when the cameras are turned off. So she don't stop. She just don't stop. How do you ever stop talking? Do you ever stop talking?
Robbie telling me I stop talking is the best thing.
But I love her. I love Amanda. I love Amanda, and I've really enjoyed doing this. It's been absolutely incredible, and this guy's got some wicked guests lined up in the new year. I'm really looking forward to it.
He's a great host.
And he's a great host, and thanks for having us, and it's been really, really good.
David Dimbleby, watch this space. I'm coming for you.
Have a good one.
Merry Christmas.
Always Arsenal.
And have a great New Year.